Hello, this is Steve Graves from the CSUN Geography Department. This is the first in a series of video tutorials to help students complete the lab climate change in Burbank through Excel. First step you need to do, if you haven't already done it, is to log on to the VSL. And select from the list of software options, Microsoft Office. Double-click on Excel. In a moment, the software will appear. This is the screen that I see first. I will click Open Other Workbooks. Click Browse. Should be an option for clicking this PC, but it already opened for me. And what I'm looking for, and you should as well, is Drive H. This particular assignment is included under both Geography 102 and Geography 105. I will choose 105, and I want to select the file called Burbank. Each time I was double clicking. What will open is a blank file here of weather data. These two columns here in brown are wind data, in green precipitation data. There's a blank column for temperature average. The red column, J, is temperature max, K is temperature minimum. You will fill in these intervening columns with formulas. Here's day and month. And the data over here on the right is 30-year normal averages. So these are the average temperatures for each day of the year taken from 1980 to 2010. And so familiarize yourself with this data. At this point, you should probably make a copy of this file, save it with a new name on your own drive. I'm going to do the same. Click File, Save As, this PC, which is not actually this PC, and I will go up to Desktop and give it a name like Burbank Answers Steve 2. And now I have my own copy. Remember that this is not being saved on your own computer, but on a virtual machine. Consider it in the basement of the library. It's on that desktop. One of the really cool things about a spreadsheet, if you've never used one, is its ability to sort lots of data rapidly. And so as I scroll down through this data, you'll see that I have 3 years of data, 2015, 2016, and 2017, all the way here to the bottom. So there's 3 years of data, and it's very difficult. I'm back at the top now. It's very difficult to find any strange data, outliers and such. So what I'm going to have you do is to sort the data. And what we're going to do is click on cell G1 here. Notice that in the upper left-hand corner there's a cell G1 indicator, and the column header is WSF2, which stands for wind speed for 2 minutes. So this is the fastest wind gust for 2 minutes on this particular day for each day. So January 3rd, 2015, the fastest 2-minute wind speed was 8.9 miles an hour. So click again there in G1, and the most standard way to sort is to click on the Data tab and then click on the Sort icon in the toolbar. This dialog window will appear, and it allows you to sort by various columns, and we want to sort by wind speed for 2 minutes, WSF2. We'll leave the order from smallest to largest and click OK. Now you should notice that the slowest wind speed for 2 minutes of any given day was January 3rd, 2017. At this point, you should pause and answer a couple of questions about other days and other values. Next, you're going to sort by Tmax. So once again, you can click Sort, but this time change it to Tmax from the drop-down menu, and change the sort order from largest to smallest. So what you should have is Tmax, which is the daily maximum temperature for each day from 2015 to 2017. And if you sort that by clicking OK, you will see that there's a couple of days that maxed out at 111 degrees. Pause once again and answer a couple of questions in your learning management software, Canvas perhaps. And now we want to resort the data so it's back to its original format. There's a couple of ways of doing this. Once again, you can use the sort button and sort by ID, but change it back to smallest to largest. That's one way of doing it. Or if you click in cell A1 and click on the sort A to Z, lowest to highest button, it will do the same thing. So now what we're going to do is to calculate a value for T average. In the past, this is how average daily temperature was calculated. It's not exactly the most accurate way to do it nowadays, but it allows scientists to have a set of data that matches what has been done for hundreds of years. And it's very simple. We're just going to take the average of the daily maximum and the daily minimum. It's sort of the midpoint. The easiest way to do that is to place your cursor at cell I2, where it is right now. I'm going to zoom in for you. Equals, this is what you'll type, equals average, and then a left parentheses. And then you want to type in J2, and if I zoom in, well, you can sort of see that cell J2 is highlighted. Type a comma and then type in K2, and you'll notice that K2 is now highlighted as well. And at this point, you can add a closed parentheses or just press enter, and you get a value of 44. We want to copy this formula, average of J2 and K2, all the way down to fill in this entire column of blank cells with the same formula. So in order to do that, place your cursor back on the 44, which is cell I2, with that formula, and press Control C. If you're on a Mac, I believe it's Command C. And now it's in the clipboard and it's ready for pasting somewhere else. Now you could just highlight these data and press Control V, or we'll paste it to wherever you highlighted, but there's a faster way of doing it. Notice that my cursor is a thick plus sign, but if I move it into the very corner of the highlighted cell with the dash marks around it, it becomes a thin plus mark. Once it becomes a thin plus mark, double click and the entire column of empty cells will be filled in with that formula. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and if I press the F2 button, it will tell me that it's completed this formula in a repetitive fashion all the way down. There are a handful of questions to answer at this point, so you may want to pause. In the last segment of this part of the lab, you are going to come down to cell F1100. It's just below the cell with triple X, so it's highlighted right now. In this cell, you're going to calculate the value, several statistics. The first of which is a count, or N, for column F. And this will be just the number of observation in column F, excluding the column header. So you will type an equal sign and then begin CONT. And the first value will be F2, which is the first value in that column, and then a colon, and then F1097. Notice that there's a blue box now around all of those values indicating exactly which cells are being counted. Press close parentheses and hit enter, and you should have 1096. That's correct, because there's 1096 observation. The next value below that you're going to enter is the sum. Type in sum and left parentheses, and again type F2 and colon and F1097. That is the sum of all those values. Type in average, left parentheses, F2 colon F1097, and now you have the average wind speed for all 3 years, for every day included. Type in now the standard deviation, STDEV.P, left parentheses F2 colon F1097, and that's the standard deviation for all of those observations in column F. And then minimum is just MIN, F2 colon 1097. That's the slowest wind speed of any of those days. And then max, MAX, F2 colon F1097. And we see that the windiest day in 3 years, the average wind speed was 2309. So now that you have all of these and you're comfortable with them, highlight that block of cells, press Control-C to copy, and we want to copy these formulas in all of these pale yellow cells across the way. So once I've highlighted those, then I can press Control-V or just enter. And it calculates a bunch of formulas. Some of these are uncalculable at this time because there are blank cells above, and that's okay. We will fill those in a second part of this lab. But you have some data now, and it's time to answer some questions. So pause, and this is the end of this video.